I'm surprised that you're probably happy that you're no longer living in California, given what's going on there. I mean, it's devastating what we're seeing, isn't it? It's awful.
It's horrible. You realize that 10 people so far have lost their lives in a fire that was whipped up by 100-mile-an-hour winds. Actually, more than 5 fires burning up in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Entire neighborhoods gone. Fire hydrants running dry because they had drained the reservoirs so quickly, not the reservoirs, but the water tanks, so quickly that they could no longer maintain pressure to bring water uphill. And cuts recently to fire equipment and fire preparation in Los Angeles as well. Thank the mayor's office for that one. This is just horrifying and devastating. I don't know anybody who doesn't know someone who's had to evacuate.
Right. Well, we spoke to Caroline Faraday. I don't know if you know her, but she's a British journalist who's been living out in LA for some years, about 11 or 12 years, I think. And she's had to evacuate. But it almost looks to me as though the entire city of LA is under a pall of smoke. You know, if it's not on fire, even Hollywood Boulevard down to the Mann's Chinese Theatre, I mean, every single part of what you would call kind of tourist LA is under threat now.
It certainly is. I mean, you look at it, it looks like a post-apocalyptic movie. Hollywood couldn't do effects as good as this if they wanted to show the aftermath of a nuclear war. For anybody who's lived through a fire like this, it turns the air so acrid that you can taste it. You know, you can just taste the smoke in everything. It's all of the toxic chemicals that have burned. And the air is also this hideous, yellowy, brown kind of color and almost neon.
Yeah.
It is vile stuff. And all of Los Angeles is being affected. And if you look at the NASA's satellite photos, the smoke flying offshore because of those winds, it's unbelievable, the devastation.
Yeah. I mean, is it as bad? If it's as bad as it looks, I suppose the question that I would ask is, can Los Angeles recover from this? I mean, there's a piece of footage that we've looked at this morning where Gavin Newsom's being sort of harangued by a woman in Pacific Palisades, being told, you know, you've got to do something, you've got to help us. He's talking to the president to get some kind of, central money bank so that people can rebuild their homes. But I mean, the scale of it is so huge. I'm wondering whether Los Angeles will ever be the same again.
It's going to take a long time, if at all.
Yeah.
It is, you look at the swaths of neighborhoods that have been affected by these fires, and a lot of those people do not have insurance coverage. If they do have insurance coverage, they're not going to get it rebuilt through insurance because insurance doesn't cover wildfires. That's a special kind of insurance. That fire doesn't count. It's only if you light the fire with a candle inside your house.
Right.
So it's going to be a long, expensive recovery. Probably one of the most expensive disasters we've ever had in the state of California, possibly the country. And I include massive hurricanes in that.
Absolutely right. But the devastation, as I say, is so complete, it would seem. I mean, I'm told there's hundreds of thousands of people without power. It's going to take a very long time to even get that power back because the lines are all down. There's infrastructure damage, obviously. There's now talk of arson possibly being to blame for some of the fires, if not all of them. Right. They've arrested somebody for that, it would seem. James Woods has tweeted out saying that, with a picture of a guy saying, climate change has a face. I mean, and it's not going away, is it? It's not stopping anytime soon.
No, it's not stopping. They've got pictures of people looting already, somehow able to get back into these neighborhoods. The scale is so vast that there are not enough police or firefighters in Los Angeles, one of the largest cities in the world in both area and population. Yeah. There are not enough ways to keep people out of those neighborhoods from going in and looting, to be able to go into each neighborhood and evacuate them as they go. This thing moved so fast in so many cases that they just had to hope that people got the message and smelled the smoke.
And I guess the worst thing about all of this, and perhaps people haven't really thought about it, but the problem with these kinds of disasters is that when you leave, you evacuate your home, you lose everything, right? I mean, the house burns down, you got nothing.
you have nothing left. You know, a lot of hay is made, you know, oh, this celebrity lost their home, this celebrity. I don't care who you are. It's just as devastating to lose your grandma's china if you are Paris Hilton or if you're Joe Schmo.
Yeah.
And most of the people affected are not from Hollywood.
Yeah, no, exactly right.
Most of these people are just normal people.
Right. And that is the thing that people forget, I suppose, about Los Angeles, because here in Britain, people have this image of it being, you know, the home of movies, the home of Beverly Hills and, you know, Hollywood Boulevard and, you know, all of that. And it's very glamorous, but it's also a regular city. But one of the world's greatest cities, I think. I've always loved LA. You know, it's got a terribly good vibe to it. It's a very different place, you know, from Malibu down to sort of Santa Monica, you know, it's beautiful.
Los Angeles is a fantastic city. There is so much to do. I mean, we saw the fires burning up to the Getty Villa, which is part of the, you know, the Getty. There are several Getty museums in Los Angeles. Wonderful, priceless works of art next to great rock and roll clubs. I mean, if you can do anything in LA, it's a wonderful place. I don't care who you are. It's really a great city, and it's really a bummer to see this happen. And it's possibly going to happen more and more often. California just doesn't get enough water, and the water that it does get, you know, because of environmental concerns and everything else, is just, you know, allowed to flow off into the ocean rather than stockpiling it the way that we should.
Maybe they'll have to rethink all of that, and certainly Donald Trump has made mention of that as well. Ladona, good to talk to you. Thanks very much indeed. Terrible circumstances, though. Co-presenter of Arizona's Morning News on KTAR in Phoenix, Arizona. Let's get a voice note from David on Joe Biden.
Hi, Mike. Great show as usual. David in the Cotswolds. What's that number again? What? Oh, 18. I've got 18002. No, hang on a minute. 1806226. No, hang on. 1802. Oh, forget it.
Yeah, David. Listen, don't worry. We've got somebody who can help you out. Here he comes with the number for the president.
If anybody's lost everything or anything of consequence, disasterassistance.gov or 1-800-2, excuse me, 1-800-2, I beg your pardon, 1-800-621-3362.
Dear God. And he's been running the US and the world for the last 4 years.